Thanks for that, Steve. Emma, look who we've got in the studio with us. It's Dan the dog with Des, but he's not Dan the dog. He's in the studio with us. It is Des Taylor. How are you, mate?
Great, going on great.
Yeah?
Catching a few, losing a few.
What about... we all lose a few, mate.
Yeah.
How have you been anyway?
I've been all right. Yeah, I'm getting fatter and older, but I'm still catching a few. I can still get out there and, you know, sort of still catching a few fish.
So Des, most people will know you from Dan the dog with Des, but those people that don't will know you from your regular column in a fishing magazine. How did that come about? Because you've been doing it for so long now, haven't you?
I was just asked to write an article by the editor at the time, and I said, yeah. I said I could write one, you know, every week. And he said, I don't think you could do one every week. And I said, oh, I could, dead easy. And he started me off doing one every 2 weeks. And then within a month, he said, I think you could do it. But I did put rules down, to be honest. I've never been one of these guys that said, I'm going to go out and do features. I said, you know, my life in angling is interesting enough, you know, that I can write about anything. As you notice, I mean, I might be writing 1 week about fishing in Norway, the next week I'm sort of on the River Severn, the next I'm talking about a conversation with perhaps you at the NEC, you know, and hopefully it's been interesting enough life that people still want to read it.
I, for one, really love reading them, but do you ever run out of ideas and struggle for material after 18 years?
No, I don't. I find it dead easy, you know, because my life revolves around fishing. You know, I work in fishing. Everybody I speak to is in fishing. You know, down the pub, I go to a pub in Bewdley, most of the people in there are fishermen, you know, so all the time I'm talking about fishing. So there's always something happening. And if you like, I look at myself like a bit of a shop steward. I'm putting to you out there what I've heard, you know, and I've never run out of material. You know, I write it Sunday, Monday or Tuesday every week and just write it and away it goes.
Out of all the memories that you've got, what's the biggest achievement that you've had?
The biggest achievement I've ever had?
Because you've told us some stories.
Well, I'll tell you something
on
a serious note, I remember, I'm a patron of the disabled anglers, and I remember a guy, I was doing a presentation, and there was a guy coming up to me, it was at Cirencester, and a guy came up to receive, I can't remember, it was a trophy for winning some disabled match, and he came up and he was about 3 yards away from me, and he obviously could walk, he just walk for me, but he got out the chair and then walked up to me, and he was a biggish guy, and he just said, you know, I can't walk far, but there was no way I was meeting Des Taylor in a wheelchair. It's just a great pleasure. He says, you're a proper bloke. And I thought, it don't get any better than that, does it? No. You know, and that was, you know, catching a big fish. You know, lots of people can catch a big fish or travel around the world, but not many people get the chance to have a thing like that. So that was lovely. Speaking
of big fish, what's your biggest fish and what's the reason why you went and caught that fish?
Biggest fish I've ever had is around about £2,000, 1,800 to £2,000. It was a great white. And the reason I wanted to do it is when I was a kid, I think, you know, you're a big fish angler, Dean, you know, the ultimate, without doubt, is the great white shark. You know, you can talk about pike, you can talk about sturgeon, you can talk about all the predators, but top of the tree, everything you catch, this thing can eat them.
Yeah, those great whites are man-eaters, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, and when you see them for the first time, I mean, I had piles for years, and the first one I see after that, I never had piles after. You know, never had piles after. You know, it was a fantastic sight when you see them, and you know, they're not scary at first, but then when you're sitting there in a boat, because I wasn't in a proper game boat, we were in South Africa in a boat that wasn't designed for great whites, and your feet were in between two outboards, and these sharks would come up and sort of bite, you know, the propellers just moving with the tide, and they come up and check it to see if it's edible. I mean, when you see a £1,000 great white come by your toes, believe me, I mean, I come from a pretty rough area in the Midlands, but boy, that scared me. You know.
So in the nicest possible way, you've been around for quite some time. You've caught most of the species to the specimen size in this country and abroad. What's left for Des Taylor? Where'd you go from here?
You know, you change in your life, don't you? You change in your life and your fishing suits your life. I mean, I've not got that raw, want to get out there, and I listen to you talk, you want to get out there and you want to catch this and you want to catch that, and that's great, and I see myself a few years ago, I would have done that, but having done it, you can't stay the same. At 57, I'm not the same bloke as when I was 35, and I just enjoy still going. I enjoy, you know, we were talking earlier before the programme about Norway, you know, I enjoyed the actual sight of Norway as well as the fishing. Now, years ago, you know, I could have had a golden eagle drop on my head and I wouldn't notice. I was just too busy fishing. Whereas now I'd probably stop fishing and see if I could take a photo of the golden eagle. That's how you change. I never condemn someone, you know, the way they're fishing when they're 20 or 40 or or 60, you change my life. Jesus Christ. There's an outtake.
That's the fry up you ate earlier on.
I just got
Well, I'm ever so sorry about that, folks, but as you can see, Des has done a demolition job on his chair.
I couldn't believe that. I heard it cracking as it was like, clink, clink. I thought, oh no, please don't. Clink. Oh dear.
It can
And
only
I'm telling
happen.
a lot. I said at the start I was getting heavier.
It can only happen to one person. But I was in the middle of asking you
Yeah.
where there is to go in fishing, because you've done pretty much everything all over the world and certainly in this country. What's left?
There's one thing I would love to do, and that's marlin fishing in Australia. I'd love to catch £1,000 or a grander. You know, I have had £1,000 fish.
£1,000.
You know, I've had £5,000, £1,000 great whites. But there's still that top of the sports fishers is the billfish of £1,000. I'd just love to do that.
So how rare is a £1,000 marlin? Because it doesn't strike me as a fish that's prolific enough to realistically target.
It's the same as any other fishing, Dean. You know yourself, if you went and fished your average park pool, probably in the Midlands, your chances of catching a double-figured tench would be slim. You caught one, you go down to Linear, you're fishing in the right spot, and you catch one.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same with marlin. If you pay the right money on the right boat at the right time of the year in Australia, you'll catch a grander. Really? I don't say the first time or whatever, but you're in with a shout straight away. You know, if you go to the likes of Tenerife or somewhere like that, you can go round there and odd fish £800 or £1,000 a quart once every 5 years or whatever. You know, but if, like myself, like you, if we want to catch something, you go to the best place at the best time, giving you the best chance. And
It just seems like such a, I mean, a £1,000 marlin seems like such an enormous goal, that's all. It just...
Yeah, but there's not much left. You know, I don't want to go, I don't want to go back to catching another tench bigger than what I've had, another bream bigger than I've had, another barbel. You know, people say, why don't I go down the Severn now to catch a 14, 15, 16 pound barbel? I caught them all when they were 10 and 11 pound. I really don't want to sit in the same swim again, catching the same fish just because they're bigger. You know, they're going to be no harder. They're just the same fish, but they're bigger. You know, but I haven't had a £1,000 marlin.
That is definitely a big ambition.
There you go. Big
So-
bloke, as I've proved with the chair.
Des, thank you very much for coming in. Everything from the smashing chairs to the smashing chat. I've really enjoyed it. I really could chat with you forever. In fact, actually saying that, once we cut, we'll go and have a cuppa and we'll carry it on.
It's been a pleasure.
In the meantime, remember when we went to the viaduct, Emma?
I certainly do.
Fished that match for the Help the Heroes. Let's see how we did.
Let's see.
This is the reason why we're here, to help the heroes. These guys go out and do our dirty work year in, year out, and if we can sit through 5 hours of miserable conditions and catch a few fish at the same time, then it's a nice day out.
A lot of us are ex-army or actually still serving. Myself and Brian Derrick actually organised it. We're both serving engineers.
On the peg that I've drawn, I've been told that it's not a match-winning peg, but you never know, the fish move. So we'll see.
She is absolutely mad. She hasn't even got brolly up. She's chucking it down rain most of the time. And if I'm deadly honest, I don't want to be beaten by a girl.
It's actually gone better than I expected. I've had 11 and I've weighed £77 and I'm hoping and praying to God that I beat Dean, otherwise I'm never going to hear the end of it. But all in all, it's been a really good day, really enjoyed myself. girly beat you.
4-3, that's it. No, you can now. I don't mind, mate. You're a match angler. You're world champion. You should have beat me.
Oh, here we go.
And in fairness, if you didn't, that would have been serious, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would have been not good.
Good girl. Well done.
Yeah, it's been a good day, hasn't it?